Hello everyone, I'm Siddharthan. This is the 18th topic in our complete Python course where we will be discussing about set in Python. The previous topics were about the data types like list, tuple. So we have seen what is meant by these data types, and we have also discussed about these data types in detail. So similarly, let's understand about set, characteristics of set, and what are all some of the operations that we can perform on top of set. So this will be the agenda for today's video, and let's get started. So I will be doing my coding part in Jupyter Notebook environment. So feel free to use IDE or notebook of your choice. So the first example or the first thing that we are going to do is just create a simple set. So here I'll write a comment saying creating a set. I'll maybe create another text cell. So select markdown here. So this is a text cell now and move this up and just write set in bold. So first we are going to create a set. So for this I'm going to declare a variable called as my set and say curly braces 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. A set is enclosed within a curly braces. So if you think about a list, it's enclosed within square brackets. A tuple is enclosed within parentheses. But sets and dictionaries are enclosed within curly braces, right? So dictionary we will discuss later, but for now you can just understand that sets are enclosed within curly braces. So here I've created a variable called as myset. Again, it's not mandatory that this should be the exact variable that you should use. Just for convenience and ease of understanding, I've used this as myset, but you can use shorter variables like A, B, C or something like that. So here we are declaring a variable and assigning the set values to this. And now I'm printing this as print my set. So this is going to print the set that we have created. And I also want to print the data type of this. So print type of my set, which is going to give me the data type of this variable my set. So it says the set value was 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 present in line number 3. And then we have also printed data type of this my set in line number 4, and it says set class or object set. So this is the first step. Now let's see how you can create a set using the set method. So I'll say use set method to create a set. So this is not only to create a set, but it is also helpful to convert one data type like a list or a tuple to set as well. So that's like another interesting use of this. So let's say that I have a list called as my list and it has values like 1, 2 and 3. So these are the three values. Just maybe again, let's say that we have 2 and 1. Okay, so these are the five values. So we have 1, 2, 3, 2 and 1, or maybe I'll just put this 1 and 2, and these are the set of values, and we can say that 1 and 2 are repeated here. So 1 and 2 appear like two times in this particular list, and list allows duplicate values, right? But in the case of set doesn't allow duplicate values, but let's come to that later. So here I'll print my list and I'll also print the data type of this my list saying type of my list. So this is going to print our list as this is in square bracket. That's why I'm calling it as a list, and we are also cross checking this by printing the data type of this my list. So it says list is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. As you can see, it has the duplicate values that we have assigned, and it says it belongs to the data type list. So now I just want to create a distinction. So I'll just put a hyphen in this quotes and put an asterisk sign and say 30. So what this is going to do is print this hyphen 30 times so that I can like print all these things below this hyphen so that you see a clear distinction between the first two print statements and the other two print statements. Again, this is not mandatory, just to have a visual distinction between them. Now I'll create another variable and I'll call this as my set, and I'm going to use the set method, which is a keyword in Python which is used to create sets or convert one data type into set. So inside this set method I'm going to pass my list, and now I can print the set that I've created, which is my set, and also make sure the data type is proper. So what we are doing is this set method takes in some sequential data types like let's say a list or a tuple, and it's going to convert that into a set, and that converted set is stored in this variable called as myset, and then we are printing this myset and we are also printing the data type of this myset. So when I run this, you can see the set has been created, but the other interesting thing is that the duplicate values 1 and 2 these values have been removed. This is because set doesn't allow duplicate values to be present in it. So this is the use of this set method, where one is it's used to create a set, and the other one is like it's used to convert one data type like let's say a list into a set. So this is like one way to use this. The other way to use this is like, again, just like what we have done here, the simple change is that instead of assigning this to the variable, you can just, instead of saving this in a variable and giving out some memory, you can directly assign a list here. So I can say my set is equal to set of 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So pay close attention that I've mentioned this within a square bracket. So I didn't just say that, I didn't write this without these square brackets. So this should not be done. So it should be present, let's say, within a list, and that's going to convert that into a set. So this is how you can use the set method in order to create a set or to convert like other data types into set. So that's other thing. Now the third thing that we are going to do here is creating an empty set. So this is again a interesting thing because this is like slightly different from what we have done with a tuple or a list. So this is about creating an empty set. In list, like what we did is like, let's say if you want to create a empty list, you would just say a is equal to square brackets, and if you want to create a empty tuple, you would just say b is equal to parenthesis, right? But you cannot say a is equal to open and close curly braces, because when you do this, a is equal to curly braces open and close, and then you print this a, that's going to again print this opening and closing of this curly braces, but you may think that this is a set. But the critical thing here is, if you check the data type of this a, it's going to say it belongs to the class dictionary. So we know that dictionary also starts and ends with the curly braces, right? So when you just initiate something with this opening and closing of curly brackets or curly braces, it's not considered as a set, but it is considered as a dictionary. So it just creates an empty dictionary and not a empty set. Now let's say that we want to create a empty set. So what we can do in that case, so you can just, let's say the variable is called empty set. Again, the variable can be anything, it's not big deal. You can say set of, just open and close your parenthesis, just like the set method that we have used, but don't mention anything within the set method. And now let's print our empty set, and let's see how this looks like, and also print the data type of this, you know empty set. Print this. So now it says set, this is the empty set that we have created, it belongs to the class set. So this is how you can create an empty set. I'll also put the code to create dictionary as well. Let's call this empty dictionary so that the distinction is clear. So empty dictionary is equal to open and close your parenthesis, sorry, curly braces, print this empty dictionary, and also print the data type so that you can understand that you cannot use opening and closing of curly braces if you want to create a empty set. So this is like one distinction. So we have this set that has been created using the set method, and then we have created an empty dictionary using just like opening and closing of curly braces. So about dictionary we will discuss in detail, because dictionary is like one of the widely used data types. Like I would say that list and dictionary are the ones that we often use compared to, let's say, a tuple or a set. So these are also used, but most predominantly I would say, like in most places in your code, list and dictionaries are like used. So it's important that we understand that. So let's get to that probably in the next video about dictionaries. So this is about creating an empty set. So now let's understand about some of the set characteristics that would come in handy when we are working on some use cases in our code. So here I'm creating a text cell and calling this as set characteristics. So this is the fourth example. So I'll say one is duplicates are removed, right? So this we have discussed already in this particular section itself, but let's do that again. Let's say that A is a set that we are creating, and it has the values like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are the, let's say, 6 values that we have in this set, but as you can see 2 is repeated here, so it's a duplicate value, right? So this particular value is removed. So when you print this, print A, the duplicate 2 value has been removed. So this is like one of the characteristics of set. So the next thing that we are going to understand is, how you can also some simple operations that we can do with it, how you can add elements. And the thing about set is that sets are mutable. That means once you have created a set, you can alter the values, you can add values, edit values, change values, and so on, right? Just like a list. Whereas a tuple is an immutable sequence data types where you cannot change a value of a tuple once you have created it. So that's why we call that immutable. But sets are mutable, so you can edit those values. Let's understand that. So the next thing that we can do is adding elements to a set. So let's say that I have a set called as my set, or I can just like use a simple variable like k and say it has values 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now I'm going to add a new value to this. Maybe first I'll print this a and then say a dot add, which is basically a set dot add. So this, you should use this add only with a set data type. So this is a set data type, so we can use this add method, and within this add I can, let's say, put some values like 5 and then print this a. So that's going to add this value 5 to the set that we have created. So this is how you can add new element to a set by using this add method. So create a set and use this add and mention like whatever value that you want to add in that set to add that element. So this is just adding one element, right? So what if you want to add multiple elements? Let's say that you have a list that has like some set of numbers and you want to add all those things. Let's see how we can do that. So here I'll say adding multiple elements to a set. So for this, I can say again, let's say A is the set that we are considering. It has the values like 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to say, maybe let's also print A first. And in the next step, I'm going to say A dot update, and I'm going to add a list to this. 1, 2, 3 is there, so I'll add 4, 5, and 6 to this. And finally, we can print this A. So now we have the original set, which is A, and that has the values 1, 2, 3. And now this a has been updated with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the key thing here is you're not creating a copy of a, right? We are just like editing the original set that we have created, which is stored in this a. So that's why we call this as a mutable data type. So this is how you can add single element using add method and add multiple elements using the update method in set. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is how you can remove an element, you know, from a set. So let's say that we have a set that has like, let's say, 5 or 6 values, and how you can remove those values. So again, let's say that we have 3 values. Maybe I'll just take 5 values. So a is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the 5 values that I have. So I can say a dot remove and mention the value that I want to remove. So let's say that I want to remove 2 from this. So I'll mention 2, and then let's print this a. So that's going to remove the 2 from the set a that we have created. You can also print the original set first and then like remove it. So first we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we have removed this 2 using this remove method, and now that 2 is not there anymore. So this is how you can remove the elements. And there is also another interesting way to remove elements, and this is like a, I would say, a safe method. So that is about discard elements. And the thing about discard is that, let's say we want to remove 2, but if 2 is not there in the set, it's not going to throw you any errors. But in the case of this remove, right, so let's say that I want to remove 10, but 10 is not there in the list. So it says that key error and that value is not present. So I'll change this back to, let's say, 2 or something, and that would just do that. So if that value that you want to remove is not present in the set, you would get a error. And in some cases, this is not feasible because you want to, this is just like making sure that that value is not present, and there is, let's say, a chance that that value is not there, right? So let's say that there is a large set that has like a several number of values in it. You want to make sure that the value 100 is not present in it, but also you don't want to, you know, um, get any errors if 100 is not there. In that case, you can use this discard method. So here I'll say, uh, let's work with the same a example. So I have this a is equal to 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'll say a dot discard 10 and print this a. So of course we know that 10 is not there in this set because it has only the values from 1 to 5. And when you run this, it's not going to discard anything. So this we are printing it from line number 6. So discard won't print anything, but we are just printing it there. But the key thing is, even if that number is not there, it's going to ignore that. But let's say that we are discarding 5. So that 5 is removed, right? Even if in the second case when it's not there, it's not going to give you any errors. So that's the distinction between remove and discard, which is like a, I would say, a safe way to do this delete operations. And in the next step, let's discuss about set operations. So I hope, I mean, like every one of us have learned set in our high schools, right? So we would have this set union, set interactions, and so on. So we can perform those operations in Python as well. So first thing that we can discuss is union. So what union means is it combines the elements from two sets without any duplicates. So let's say that we have a set A. So this is how we would write, right? So some uppercase letters, but again, you can definitely use lowercase letters as well. Let me use this one. So I'll say 1, 2, and 3. So these are the three values that I have in set A, and set B as the values of 3, 4, and 5. And I want to do a union. So union means like I have to join these two sets. And for this, I can, let's say I'll call this union set. Union set is equal to, you have to say A dot union B. So A would be the first set, and to that first set, this B would be united. And I can say print union set. It's going to give you the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the main thing here is when you join these two things, 3 is like repeated. There is a duplicate of 3. So 1, 3 will be removed. So you get the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's why I said that it combines elements from two sets without any duplicates in the final union set. So this is one example. And I'll maybe copy this entire thing and paste it again. So the next set operation that we are going to discuss is intersection. So intersection is going to provide you, again, the other thing is like when you do this union, the output is also a set, as you can see here. Similar to this in this case, as well in the case of intersection, it's going to give you a set as the final output as well. But what this would do is finds a common element, or I can say find common elements between two sets. If there are like two common elements, like those two elements are also identified. So in this case, the common element is 3, right? So the final output that we are expecting is 3. So for this, you can replace this union with intersection. So I can say A dot intersection of B. So maybe I'll call this as C for simplicity. And I would get the value as 3 because 3 is the common value in these two cases. The other example is the difference. Let me copy this and paste it over here and call this difference. And so we have A 1, 2, 3, and then we have 3, 4, and 5. So what this difference would do is these are the elements in set A but not in set B. So this is about it. So when you say set in, elements in A but not in B, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2 are present in A but they are not present in B. 3 is present in A but it's also present in B. So the output that we would get in this case is 1 and 2. And this can be created with saying A dot difference. So if you want to do this alternate way, you can just say B dot difference of A. So that's possible as well. So when I run this, I get the values as 1 and 2. So if you put this B and then let's say A, so that would be the elements present in B but not in A. So that would be 4 and 5. So that's how you would get this. But let me replace this. So that's about the difference. E and C. Okay. So elements present in the first set but not in the second set. And there is another symmetric difference. Let's say that you want all the elements that are not common, right? So you got 1 and 2 in the first case, but when I replace with B and A, we got 4 and 5, right? But how to get these two things? So that's about 12th one is symmetric difference. So here I can again create the same thing, and instead of this difference I can say symmetric difference, a dot symmetric difference, and you would get the values as there's a dot here, 1 2 4 and 5. So all the elements present in a and b but not in both. So how this can be explained is like the elements present in either a or b, not both. Okay, so it should be present either in a or b, but it should not be present in both cases, which is 3 in this case. So you would discard 3 and print like all the other elements within a set, so 1 2 4 and 5. So these are some of the interesting operations that we can try. There are like few other operations that you can explore, but just as a starter, like these are enough to get you started, but explore other things if you want to understand more about this. And the final thing that I want to explain you about, like another data type that is related to this set, or I can say this is like a variation of this set, and that is a frozen set. So I'll make this a markdown, and here I'll say, you know, frozen set. So frozen set again, it is also a set, but it's like a immutable version of set, right? So you can just think about this like it's a tuple but for sets. So we know that list and tuple are similar, only the difference is that tuples are immutable. Similarly, the difference between set and frozen set is that sets are immutable, but frozen set, sorry, I made a mistake. So set are mutable, whereas frozen set are sorry, I think I'm missing this again. So sets are mutable. That means you can change the values that's present in a set. Whereas in the case of frozen set, as the name suggests, the set is frozen. You cannot change the value. So this would become an immutable data type. So let's say that I'm creating a variable called as a, which is equal to, you can use the frozen set keyword and say the values like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then print a, and also print the data type of this A, and this would say that this is a frozen set 1 2 3 4 and 5, and it belongs to the class frozen set. Now previously we have seen that we can add elements to a set by using this add method, right? So let's try that same thing. So I'm doing this, I'm printing all this thing, and then I'm saying uh, a dot add value 6 to this. When I run this, I get a error saying frozen set object has no attribute add. So this is how you cannot add elements to a frozen set, and that's the difference between a set and a frozen set. Not just add, but you cannot edit those values, so it becomes an immutable data type. So whenever you want to have set, but also make sure that this set is not changed, the set values are not changed throughout your code. Let's say you want to make this immutable, you can go with a frozen set. So I hope everyone is clear about the topics that we have discussed. So please try this code, and it would definitely help in the long term when you're like working with larger Python use cases and so on. So that is all from my side for this video, and I'll see you in the next upload. Thanks for watching.